There's this screenshot of a text message conversation doing the rounds at the minute. It's been on Reddit, that's where I saw it. It's been on Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. And if you've not seen it, it's a story about this employee quitting following a conversation with his boss. Now, the general gist of the story that's told is this. The employee in question, so he's broken 2 bones in his left foot. So for the length of his shift, which is packing products for, I think it's for a lifestyle brand. So for the length of his shift, he sits on a stool. Now, it turns out that sitting on a stool has no negative effect whatsoever on his productivity. In fact, this guy, he packs more products during his 12-hour shift than anyone else on the team. So imagine his surprise when he gets a snotty text message, because in the boss's eyes, sitting down is, what does it say, completely unacceptable behaviour. Now, it's completely unacceptable because it doesn't look like this guy's busy. The other guy's standing up, he's not. It looks like the other guy's working harder. Now, I think I'm probably safe in saying to this audience, to you, that this is utter nonsense. Now, disciplining your most productive employee because you're looking at some nebulous "do they appear to be busy" metric instead of just looking at the underlying numbers that say he's the best guy you've got in the office that day, that is not a clever way to manage your team. And yet I've seen this myself. I've worked on projects when I was still in-house where we'd lose customers that were seeing great results, massive returns on their investment, were outperforming KPIs left, right and centre, and we'd lose them because they'd have a cold approach from a competitor, and the competitor would invariably say something along the lines of, "You don't know what they're doing if they're not sending you a daily worksheet." I mean, we weren't sending a daily worksheet, we were sending monthly results. When I was still freelancing, when I was at 603 copywriting back in the day, I had one of my biggest regular clients. They left, only temporarily, but they still left because the head had been turned. Now, this client, I'd spent days in their offices at the start of the relationship. I'd been there, I'd seen how the sausage was made, I'd chatted to everyone from the MD down to the lads that were packing boxes in fulfillment. I'd tried out the products for myself. I understood pretty much everything they did, inside out, so that when they needed something, they would send me 1 email a month, I'd go away and do it, they'd get the work delivered. Bang, 1 email a month. The MD, though, I didn't have the relationship with him, I had it with the head of their marketing team. The MD had his head turned by this agency that could look busy. An email a month, how are they supposed to know what I'm doing? Come to us, they said, we'll give you weekly status meetings, we'll give you full spreadsheets so you know every single second we spend on the job. And it worked. According to their metric of do we look busy, they were brilliant. In fact, they were doubly brilliant. They were twice as brilliant because it made the customer's in-house marketing department look busy as well, because they had to train this agency up on hundreds of products. And after 3 months of getting not great work, I ended up having to proofread and edit quite a lot of it, not great work, they realised that they were better with someone who understood the company, who understood the customers and who understood the market. They were better off with me than someone who understood how to look busy. And as I always do when I lose a client, I learned an important lesson from that one. And the lesson I learned was this. I was completely and utterly right. It is not important to look busy. It is important to be productive and produce results. And that tends to, in our field of work, mean front-loading the work. So with Hampson, Natt and Williams then, with our message-first approach, we are really good at looking busy at the start of a relationship. Because we are busy, we have to be busy. We'll do workshops for tone of voice and positioning and client personas, and we'll do site visits to see exactly how a customer works if we can, and we'll do customer interviews, and we'll do end user interviews, and we'll interrogate dozens of people, and we'll have just as many meetings. And then after that, once we've got the message right, once we understand your company, then we get a bit quieter. because it's not about looking busy. It's about being productive. It's about producing the right copy guided by all that work that came before. And if you want to know whether that's effective, you don't need to have a weekly meeting, and you certainly don't need me to submit a daily timesheet. All you need to do is look at your bottom line. That's all.